The brothers say they were shocked that the cardinals picked on their younger brother to become pope. However, they are united in his ability to perform the duty. What is unspoken is how far out of reach his position has made him. Aged 69 and originally from Chicago, the Pope spent most of his career as a missionary in Peru and became a cardinal only in 2023. It is this town where his older brother John still lives. He adds that the current Pope knew from the beginning that he would join priesthood from a young age.
I think from the time he was 5 or 6 years old, he knew this was his fate. Not that he would be a pope, that he would be a priest. He knew that from a very young age, and his idea never faltered all through grammar school, high school, college.
By contrast, 70-year-old Louis Prevost, the older of the three brothers, was in his backyard when journalists arrived at his home on a quiet street in Port Charlotte to break the news to him.
When he first came out, when I first saw as he crossed over the threshold of the balcony, and I saw his forehead and then his eyes, and it was like, it's like, hey, yeah, that's my brother. At this point, I'd run up there and give him a high five.
Joan, the second born of the three, explains that from his earliest days in kindergarten, he practiced how to celebrate Mass, prompting a neighborhood to tell him that he would be the first American Pope. That prophecy came true on Thursday.
He would take our mom's ironing board, cover it over with a tablecloth, and we would go to Mass.
Louis confirms his brother's recollection of their youth.
There was something spiritual about him, and I don't know if you heard, he used to like to play priest a lot. Okay, what little kid ever plays priest, right?
Perhaps a tad bit said about the development. Louis and John agree that while he will always be their younger brother, things will change from now on, as the Pope may no longer be as accessible. They can only hope to see him from a distance if he ever comes to the US.
Or is he going to be too busy to talk to us? I don't expect we'll ever see him come down to the house again.
But the two brothers are firm in their belief that Pope Leo is the right person for the job. Louis and his wife Deborah, who is not Catholic, are hoping that Pope Leo XIV will be a modernizing force.
What are you going to do about, gay marriage? What are you going to do about, I'm married to a non-Catholic? What about stuff like that? Do you see an opening to, bless this kind of marriage? Things that affect, people like me.
For his part, John Prevost insists the new pope is a firm supporter of his predecessor's papacy, and especially of the late pontiff's commitment to social justice issues.
In my opinion, and he may be different than I think, is you will see kind of a second Pope Francis. I think he'll kind of follow in Pope Francis's footsteps in terms of some of the policies and the way he conducts himself, because he knows there are the downtrodden. He knows there are the poor. He knows there are the disenfranchised, the people who don't have a voice.
However, in a light-hearted moment, Louis says he doesn't plan on calling him Your Holiness anytime soon.
He'll always be Rob to me. In the back of my mind, yeah, he's Pope. He's Pope Leo. But he's still Rob. I can't do that. I can't turn that switch. It's like, no. He's Pope Leo to the world. To me, he's my little brother Rob.
Louis adds in his parting that their only wish was for their parents to have been around to see it.
Mom and Dad, yeah, that would have shook them to the core. They'd be super overjoyed.